the first one that I made was Maricle, and I made it for horses. And then it was so good for them, I started taking it. So the body has to sustain a pH balance within your uterus all the time, or you're viable for infection. And I know a lot of this because of broodmares. A lot of broodmares will come to me, and because their hormones are so far out of balance, they get infection after infection after infection, and they try to treat it with antibiotics and all of this stuff when the problem isn't it's not coming from the outside. The problem is the internal balance of the pH of the uterus is so bad, it cannot actually sustain a life. And it can't even sustain its own health. And so if you put them on herbs, and you just flush them a couple times with just water and baking soda, the pH will come down, and everything will level out, and they'll get pregnant. I could take a mare that wasn't cycling, or had cycles that she'd just never ovulate. She'd just hold this follicle for, I call them senile follicles, because they got so old they couldn't do anything. If the egg comes out, I mean, it's rotten. It'll almost never get pregnant if you can force ovulation. Chemically, they still wouldn't get pregnant. And usually within 2 weeks to 2 months, I could have the mare pregnant and keep it pregnant on Maricle. So I profoundly knew how much they worked. And then the natural mother we actually called Milk Wagon. I started that one for mares who we lost a mare. And so we got one of our other mares to be the surrogate. And so I just went and did research on what will support breast milk. And like I said before, the human breast milk that's actually how, when I learned that human breast milk was the most similar to horse breast milk of any two milks on the planet. The composition. I was like, well, if it works for humans, it's gonna work for horses. So I got it, and I mean, that mare who didn't have a pregnancy, within a month was milking more than that baby could drink. And then she was milking other babies in the pasture who were more thirsty than their mother was allowing for them to have. And so we actually had to separate that mare. And that baby, he was so fat, and she wasn't pregnant. She's old. She was cycling. When I did the protocol to get her to take the baby, this is actually a funny story. So you give them oxytocin, you chemically induce what they consider as having been pregnant and then giving birth. And the oxytocin makes them want to attach themselves, connect. And she was a great mom. She was always a great mom. So you put a towel over their face, you do the chemical treatment, they sweat, and you rub a towel on them, you rub it on the baby, present the baby. Well, what they didn't tell us, the vet that told me the protocol, what they didn't tell us was that don't stand in front of the mare. Get the baby in front of the mare. The first thing they see, and she has one eye, so the first thing that they see is the thing that they will attach to. Well, it's my daughter. She wasn't interested in the baby, but my daughter left the stall, and she liked to climb over the gate, tried to run me down. I was like, Summer, come back, Summer, come back. We had to do the whole thing all over. We had to completely do the whole thing over. So we actually had to induce her wanting the baby. So we did it again, and then we put the baby in, and I just pulled the towel out, and we just hid. And she took the baby. From that moment, that baby was hers. And I mean, protective of it, just like she was with every baby she ever had. But she didn't produce a lot of milk. We put her on, what's that stuff called? That you get from the vet. Yeah, I got the Dom Perignon. Yes, Dom Perignons. I was thinking the champagne. Yeah. It costs about that much, actually. So we put her on that. I mean, I don't know that she was even milking enough to call it an ounce. Luckily, the other mare, she lived, I knew she was gonna die, so I didn't let her keep the baby, but I did milk her enough to get her through the colostrum. And so I ordered the herbs. I did the research right away, ordered the herbs, had them there within a week, and started on it within a month. I mean, she was a milk wagon. She was squirting milk. So I know it works from the horses, but most of our stuff is from some kind of tragedy, honestly, some kind of tragic happening.